Welcome to Seize the Mains by Malhotra's IAS Academy. I am Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative is running in coordination or in parallel with our website. Monday to Saturday, every day at 9 p.m. We discuss one model answer from current affairs, which is strictly framed from UPSC Civil Services mains point of view. We also discuss its model answer, the question that we give to you. A model answer is discussed, and that is how we teach you how to proceed with answer writing in mains. All the content that gets discussed here, the presentation that appears here, the content of that presentation is uploaded in the mains answer writing section on our website. The link to our website is present in the description. All the topics that we discuss on Seize the Mains, they are strictly from current affairs, so that you know your current affairs practice and mains practice that can run in parallel, and you can understand how to go about when it comes to mains preparation, how to take it forward. The topic for today is Representation of People's Act 1951. So see, various sections of RPA have been covered in the past as well regarding Seize the Mains. Various sections regarding disclosure of assets or somebody having cases pending against him. All these sections have been discussed. Today we are discussing a new section of RPA which was recently in news, and that is section 33 clause 7 of Representation of People's Act. The question for today is for day 184. The question is, justify the need of bringing an amendment to RPA or Representation of People's Act in the context of twin candidature, a provision under section 33(7) of RPA. That is, a person contesting from two seats or two areas or two constituencies for the same election. As you know that a person cannot represent two constituencies in the legislature, but a person can at least contest for two seats. Earlier till 1994, a person could contest from multiple seats. So this number was restricted to two after 1994. So now there has been a lot of debate that do we need to restrict this twin candidature to just one, that a person should be able to contest only from one seat. So yes, recently there has been a judgment of a petition filed in Supreme Court regarding doing away with this section 33 part 7, and judiciary has outrightly said that that is the territory of legislature. So whenever you see questions regarding judicial overreach, there are a lot of examples which condemn judicial overreach, but there are very few examples that we take note of where we have to say that judiciary is judicial overreach is not happening in the country, because time and again judiciary has kept the boundaries intact between legislature, executive and judiciary on its own, and this is one of these examples which could turn out to be in favor of judiciary. Coming back to this question, let's see what is the question demanding us. First of all, the directive here is justify the need of bringing an amendment to RPA in the context of twin candidature, or in the section 33 clause 7 of RPA, and answer in 250 words. Basically what you have to do is, irrespective of what your views are, you have to justify the need of an amendment to this section 33 clause 7. That means you will have to take a stand in favor of the amendment, that is that why should this be amended. So all the content that is floating around on the web, that is obviously in favor of the amendment, that why should this section 33 clause 7 be amended. So definitely that's a very easy answer. We'll start by writing an introduction. We'll introduce what section 33 clause 7 of RPA is about, and what the historical significance of this particular section has been. Then we'll move on to justify. In the body paragraph itself, we'll justify that why there should be an amendment brought in and the section 33 clause 7 should be done away with. So why should it be done away with? That would be brought in body paragraph part. And in the conclusion, we'll talk about some recommendations of election commission or law commission, because whenever there is a law prevailing in the country, as an aspirant you cannot be outright in giving suggestions. You cannot give outright suggestions that this law should be amended or that law should be amended. Don't do that. But if there is some constitutional body or law commission or any very famous committee, any reputable committee that has recommended a change or recommended an amendment, quote that committee, quote the law commission report, and then give your suggestion that why it should be amended or how it should be amended. This will become more clear as we discuss this answer further. Let's start with an introduction, talk about section 33 clause 7 of RPA. Section 33(7) of RPA Act, RPA or Representation of People's Act, permits a candidate to contest any election, parliamentary, state assembly, biennial council or by-elections from up to 2 consequences, and this applies for by-elections also, keep that in mind. The provision was introduced in 1996, prior to which there was no bar on the number of constituencies from which a candidate could contest. So there could be 3 constituencies, 4 constituencies, or even more than that, from which a candidate could appear or could contest in an election. Then section 70 of RPA states, now this is a contrasting thing, that if a person is elected to more than one seat in either house of parliament or in the either house of state legislature, then unless within the prescribed time he resigns, all but one of the all seats shall become vacant. Now why is this important? This is important for our body paragraph. What you can do is you can restrict your introduction till here as well and use this information in your body paragraph to justify that if a person cannot hold more than one seat, then what is the fun of letting people contest from different constituencies. So then in body paragraph we are trying to justify the need that why this section needs to be done away with. So since 1951 many politicians have used it for for other means, not to just contest elections but for other means, and that could be just show off. For example, to sometimes to divide the opponent's vote, sometimes to profess their party's power across the country, sometimes to cause a ripple effect in the regions surrounding the constituencies in favor of the candidate's party. So not all the times whenever people have contested from multiple constituencies, not all the time their motive is to get into power or to safeguard themselves and lose out in the other constituency. No, that is not the case. There are other means also, and that these means should never be behind a candidate trying to contest an election in a democracy. So these should not be the reasons for contesting an election, but these have been seen as reasons in the past. So yes, definitely this is a justification in favor of amendment to RPA, that this section 33 should be done away with, 33(7). Then it is unfair to electorates of both the constituencies, obviously, because there is a fog prevailing, or that who would their leader be, or will their leader choose to rule or serve their constituency if they elect that particular leader. Then there is wastage of precious public exchequer money on by-elections. For example, if the candidate wins from both the constituencies but he chooses only one, then in the other constituency, as soon as possible, within 10 days, by-elections have to be held, and that a lot of money goes behind conducting these by-elections, which could have been used in some developmental activity otherwise, because it is public exchequer, it is taxpayers' money that is going behind all these election expenditures. Before 1994, when candidates could contest even from 3 seats, the financial burden was even heavier. Then fourth one, inconvenience caused to electorate in recasting ballot. This could include various types of inconveniences, and some people they just choose to not vote again, they just choose to not participate in by-elections. Then it takes away local governance agenda, as it is aimed at electing a leader only and nothing more than that. So that is about it. The people, they lose faith in elections or in the leader, because they're never sure that will the leader stay and be able to serve them. Then double membership is not recognized and can be a ground for disqualification, hence it increases the administrative burden, because all the people who are involved in the administration, they need to check that if there is any double membership going on or not, or according to section 70, has the person resigned in due time. Then there is the aspect of voter fatigue. See here, just club point number 4 and point number 7 if possible. Voter fatigue and inconvenience caused to electorate, that can be clubbed into one point, or otherwise you can write them as separate points also. This aspect of voter fatigue, voters are compelled to vote twice in the same election for the same seat within a span of a few days, and there are many people who actually travel to different places, travel from their workplaces to their ancestral houses or places of residence to cast the vote, so that if they have to travel again and again within a span of few days, that causes voter fatigue. And many voters, when by elections are held, many voters do not even appear for casting their vote. So the number of people who are actually casting their vote in the first election, in the actual election, and the number of people who actually cast their vote in by-election, if you compare both of them, the number of people who cast their vote in by-election, that is significantly lesser than in the previous election. So that is a question on democracy and free and fair elections as well. So many voters travel from out of town to cast their vote. Many take time off of work. Many walk long distances. So that it causes inconvenience to voters, and the factor of voter fatigue, it leads to less people casting their votes. Then furthermore, repeated elections are not only unnecessary and costly, but they will also cause voters to lose interest in the electoral process in due process of time, and after the due process or in the long run, people do lose interest in the election process as a whole. Invariably, the by-election would most likely see fewer voters turn out to vote when compared to the first election a few days earlier. So these points number 4, 7 and 8, these talk about the conceptual point behind it. The factual parts have been discussed in the first three points and point number 6. So definitely quote section 70 here, which we've already written with our introduction. That is your choice whether you want to club it with your introduction or write it in the body paragraph itself. But whenever you're quoting some sections or you're writing some important terms like double membership or voter fatigue, definitely underline it. Make it visible to the examiner that you're writing very good stuff in your answer, and do not just keep on writing. Even if you're not very confident about your answer, just underline the parts you are confident about. So that sends a good impression, and the examiner understands that you understand the concept behind what is being asked, plus you have understood the directive and you are answering the question right. That is also a part which carries most of the marks when it comes to answer writing in mains. Now in the conclusion part, we'll quote some recommendations. The Election Commission recommended amending section 33(7) so as to allow one candidate to contest only from one seat. It did so in 2004, 10, 16 and again in 2018. The Election Commission wanted that people who are, there are candidates who are contesting from 2 seats, they should deposit a certain amount of money with the Election Commission. So in case by-elections have to be held, if they win from both the seats, and by-elections have to be conducted, so that that money can be used for the by-elections. Then in your this Law Commission, in 255th report, the Law Commission seconded the EC's recommendations to amend the Act, to amend the section 33, clause 7, sparking further proposals by the EC to the Supreme Court on the issue of electoral reform. So this is one of the major electoral reforms that has been demanded. However, the RPA cannot be modified by the Election Commission or the Supreme Court. It has to be modified by the legislature itself and through parliamentary process, and unless it is branded as unconstitutional by Supreme Court, which we know it has not done till date. So now concluding that one person, one vote is the dictum that has been a founding principle of Indian democracy. Perhaps it is time to modify and expand that principle to one person, one vote, one candidate, one constituency. Also, the content for this answer has been taken from a website, and the link to that website appears on our mains answer writing section under this question. So yes, all credits to that particular website. The name of the website is logicalindian.com. So if you want to read that blog or you want to read that full article, we'll pin it in the description. Also, just visit rajayesacademy.com, look for question 184 and check out the entire content for this answer. Also, post your answers in the comment section that appears under this question. Send your answers to us, start the discussion, and our team will evaluate your responses and give their feedback entirely free of cost in the next few days. So stay tuned to our channel. I'll see you with another discussion of Seize the Mains tomorrow at 9 p.m. Till then, keep working hard and all the best.